Radio.
We began as wanderers, and we are wanderers still.
Good morning, TFR.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in where you can get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This isn't Leighton Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Real Media is the best on the plane. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the Ironworx with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
It's Friday, my dudes.
Thank God it's Friday.
Yeah, TGIF, everybody. Welcome to the Ironworx right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. It is Josh, Walt, and Zack hanging out with you this morning. Just doing the damn thing. How you fellas doing?
Friday, my dude.
Good. Good. Friday. Typing away, telling everybody, hey, in the chat. And I have to say the same thing that I saw Papa Will say, save me from the NPC zombies. It's funny, I've seen a few videos over the last few days for some reason. I don't know, probably something I accidentally stayed on too long while scrolling by, and now it's in my memory, whatever. Now that's what they're giving me. But it's these videos where there are these weird social situations, and people are just... It's not even NPC behavior. It's a badly bugged pre-launch beta copy of the game that you stole from somebody that's not even working right, and the NPCs are running into the wall and falling on the corner. Dude, I watched this one where these people are all dozens of people are at this ball game apparently, and it's over, and they're all walking out to get on the court, and they're just falling, one after the other, and nobody who's behind the people that are watching the people in front of them fall stop and don't fall, and the people that are like right around them watching the people fall just watch them fall. They don't help anybody up. They're just like locked into place like a fucking computer background imagery. And there's a security guard on the court, and he's right there, and he doesn't even he's like, it's in his peripheral view. He doesn't even turn his head. It's like 1, 2, bam, bam. They're just falling over themselves. It's like, are you people not even aware of your reality at all anymore? Is the phone got your brain so locked in that you don't see anything past an inch in front of your face? I don't get it. It was the most incredible NPC behavior I've ever seen. All right, NPC rant over. Good morning.
That was a good one, Walter. Yeah, they're definitely out there. And it's scary, man. Is it their fault? Or I just saw an article.
Right, that's what was going through my head the whole time I'm watching that. Okay, so now do I really get upset with these people because they're so out of it, or because they're so brainwashed? Do I feel pity for them? Or are they truly not real and they're empty people that are just to fill up the space? Oh, it's nuts to think such things.
Where was this? I just saw this article. high school reschedules graduation ceremony due to only 5 seniors found eligible to graduate. Now, there's only 33 people in the class. So it isn't like a class of 500 or 300 or, but still.
That's democracy in action right there, folks. Oh, we have 5 eligible. That's not quite enough. So we've decided those 5, they don't get to graduate. We're going to postpone graduation until we can get more than these 5. Sorry, 5, you're fucked. Better luck next year.
Yeah. It's crazy. I don't even know what to say about that. What's going on at that school? You have 33 children in a whole grade. What's the issue? I mean, that's about the size of my little brother's class. And yeah, he went to school a while ago, but still, I mean, I can understand, if you're in a big city or something like that, and you've got, 7 different classes full of, 30 plus children, yeah, that would get a little overwhelming.
Kids will fall
You
through
have
the
33
cracks.
children. Huh?
The kids will fall through the cracks when you have large
Yes, that's
numbers,
going to happen.
Small amount of teachers, too many students, you lose track.
I get that. But 33 children?
And okay, maybe if this was like Little House on the Prairie, right? It's like a 1-room schoolhouse and she's got to herd the cats.
Yeah, there's only 5 seniors or 6 seniors. Yeah. But this is insane, man. I've never heard numbers that bad. At least they're not going the way of California and just saying, well, you all graduate anyway. Here you go. Here's a diploma. You showed up. Congratulations. Yeah, that's wild, man. I've never seen. Yeah, Darren's or Daz is 33. So yeah, it's code, not a real number. It could be. It could be just a. I don't know. That's just crazy, though.
Trouble is, if you don't want to speak in codes, how do you discuss things in thirds? You get 66%, you get 33%, and you're like, well, fuck. Guess I'm just a Satan worshiping Mason now. Better start talking things in quarters or halves. Thirds are evil.
So how was your week, Josh?
It's quiet. Things are still sort of slowed down for me at work. So I've just been picking up smaller piddly jobs, doing a lot of masking of parts, which is.
Now, do you prefer the little piddly jobs, or you prefer having, like a job where you know what you're doing, you go in there, you do it, and you leave? Or do you like I'll do a little bit of this, I'll do a little bit of that? Because sometimes that was fun, but that can get old real quick too.
Yeah, I think that's my issue. Is my attention span is so short that I can't do much of anything for very long because then I get bored. All right. After about 2 days of any one job, it gets a little tedious. Because
yeah, that's why I was
literally.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm literally putting masking tape on parts and then taking an X-Acto knife and cutting off parts of the tape that don't need to be on there. Leaving. I mean, it's so fucking tedious, but it does allow me to just sort of get in my head. My day goes by relatively quick, and it doesn't require a whole lot of thought and effort on my part.
Circling back to school real quick, it looks like Laura there in chat has done a big art project with 25. Wait, I thought it was 25,000 students at first. Now that I'm reading it again, I don't know. It's actually 25 TK students. And it was kind of crazy. Anyway, I misread it. I was in a hurry going through the list here. Apparently making giant spiders for Halloween. That's what's up. I like spiders.
Shout out to Walking Axel. Walking Axel finally made it over there to our Telegram group.
That's what's up. I saw you in there, Laura.
At least I'm assuming that's who it was. Not that many Lauras. They're in chat, I don't think.
Good to see Nuka Cola hanging out on a regular basis again. Good to have you, brother. Glad to have you. Natch back in the house. Good to have you back around on a regular basis too, my friend. You were much missed. There's still some scouts out there. We got to get back in here though. Y'all put the calls to the ether. Pluck those etheric strings and.
Well, I saw Diva commented on the last show or the show before.
I was just gonna say I saw Diva Dante post a comment. It is really nice. I just wish I had the wherewithal to actually respond to comments anywhere.
What I generally do is when I'm checking emails, trying to clean out the 150,000 or whatever it is of the backlog that I've never dealt with, I will see, YouTube responses or YouTube comments, and that's when I'll usually go over there and, if nothing else, give them a thumbs up and a little heart check or something just to interact with it, to keep the algorithms at bay. But I'll try to comment, especially now that I'm trying to put up some junk on my channel a little bit. Like I've just neglected it too much over the years. And as I've started dabbling around with music a bit more, I figured why not kind of start using it more for that. I'll put up promos and, if I suddenly make the discovery of the century, I'll definitely throw it up there for you guys. But, just my little dabbling. Oh, I got a new pick. I forgot to tell you. So I'm always in the search for new picks. I mean, I know it's a guitar psychosis, but it really matters. It is your connection to your strings. And so, over the years, certain stars or artists will promote a pick and you'll pick it up and play with it and it'll be good. And you'll play with it a while and then you realize, man, this is not working for me. And you just try searching. And I've tried some of the newer things out there. Dunlop has a nice flow pick that I've really enjoyed lately. But this thing here, let me turn my camera on. Wait, I see my camera. I don't know if I'm looking at me now. Okay, so the pick, there it is. It's got this crazy grip area, like in its concave, if you can see it. So, dude, you'll never drop this thing. And then it's got a sharp side. And then if you're one of those speed picky people that really don't want much pick in the way at all, that thing will fly across the string. It's awesome. It's called a tack pick. I would definitely recommend anybody who wants a new pick to check it out. And look, here's the best part. It glows. It glows. Anyway, it's awesome. It really works.
But
yeah, I've been digging it. I like the way it feels.
I was in a shop yesterday and I was wearing like runner shorts, kind of, just real loose fitting. Not the short ones, but basketball shorts.
Tell me about it, big boy.
Pockets, and I had my knives, my 2 pieces of silver, and my crystal that Walt gave me. I get in there and I reach down and put my hand in my pocket and the crystal's gone. I freaked out, dude, because these things never are separated. It's not like I take one out and put it here and take another out. I have a little tray and they all go in there when I empty my pockets. Those 4 things. Well, and my magnets that are connected to my one knife. And those are my 4, 5, 6, 7 objects. 3 magnets, 2 silver, 2 knives, and and the crystal was gone. I was freaking, dude. And I went back and looked in the car and I didn't see it at first. And then I really started freaking. Then I stuck my hand down there and I just felt the tip of it in there. And I was like, oh. But man, it is so weird when you have things that you've been carrying, for years now. This is over 4 years I've been carrying this stuff around.
I have a piece of tiger's eye that I keep in my pocket all the time, just like that. Like, it's always there. I'll alternate other things if I feel the need for the vibration of them, but that's one I keep on because it helps with communication. And that seems to be one of my problems most of the time. And yeah, when I reach in there and find out it's not because I left it in the shorts I took off last night or didn't put it on my tray or whatever, or the cats have knocked it off the table, which is often where it's at. They like to play with it, I guess, because of the energy that's in it. But yeah. And the other part is crystals like to go walking. They will go away from you. Either your time with them is done, they've given you what they need to, or someone else needs them more nearby and they're headed out traveling to that person. And I know that's, whatever, woo talk, but I can attest to the fact that before I knew anything about crystals leaving you and your ability to deal with faceted crystals and things like that, I know I lost a lot of crystals that I loved because of what I wanted them to be, especially moldavite. Moldavite is a alleged meteorite crystal. And rough stone is hard to deal with. Rough stone will like really kick your psychic stuff through the roof. If you're an empath, it will make your like motions just nuts because you're feeling everything from everybody. It'll kick off your meditation. It's a real powerful stone. Faceted, make it into a ring, make it into an earring, dude, it will send it through overdrive. It's one that will constantly leave you if you're not ready for it. I bought about 6 pieces of moldavite before I finally got a rough piece and kept it. So knowing that they leave you is also one of those, has it gone away forever? Feelings I get.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because Cammy and Karen are all about that. Like, oh my goodness, Karen's back porch. It's like hard to step. There's so many crystals and just stuff laying around all over the place. Cammy too. But every once in a while they'll see one and be like, ooh. And the first thing either of them will say, oh, that one needs to go home with you. It's, it's calling you. That's your rock now. That's your crystal. They know these things, that when a crystal wants to go somewhere and with somebody, that they just send it along. There is no, oh, that's my favorite. I wish that one would, you can't have that one. I love that one. That's not how they see it. They see it as, oh, the crystal is calling you. Here, that's your crystal. That crystal wants to go with you now.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe we should do that today. We were going to do that yesterday, but we started doing yard work and raking. Man, Cammy's been getting it. Like, I was done yesterday. And we were out there for another hour. She had her trusty rake, her implement of destruction. She loves this thing. Yeah, we got it special for her. And she was out there for another hour just raking up the little gumballs. Oh, they're so annoying. I mean, they're amazing. But last year was the year of the gumball tree, I think, because there were so many of those little spike balls everywhere. And we're on a hill. So it's like walking on golf balls almost on a hill. So we have to get as many of them up as we can because we don't want people falling.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, she was out there getting it yesterday. The yard's looking good. It's looking real good. Garden is doing amazing. Oh, my goodness. The soil, I think, is finally settled in. Yeah, all the plants are, they're just shooting up. I'm proud of them. So we'll have some good videos. This has been my first garden that I've been able to tend with good soil since 2017.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy when I think of it. But yeah, it's we'll do some live stream or some walk around videos, something like that for everybody.
So 17 Joy there in chat. Good to see you. Glad to have you back, lady. Is saying that clothing needs special crystal pockets. Interesting. That's very interesting. I know some crystals are better suspended, from a cloth. I mean, from a leather piece. I'm reading stuff and trying to talk. Stop reading. But some crystals don't like to be hung. Some would rather be held or pocketed or whatever. And then don't like, there's a whole lot of people out there just trying to make money on this stuff. And so they'll throw I don't know what the word is, a setting thing on it to hang the, chain from. And so you're screwing up all the metal, that metal is screwing up all the radiative waves from the crystal. And yeah, there's a whole lot of crap. I'm sure you've heard all this 100 times from Cammy. So I will move on. Man, I saw something else in chat. I'm trying to go back and find it. Oh, it was Bill Will. So apparently Bill is a beginner blacksmith and is
Yes.
asking me, would a steel pick sound good? I've had a few different metal picks over the years, Bill. I had one that was made of copper. Um, I had one that was made of cymbal um, alloy, various, it had different alloy, I'm sure it had some copper, some brass, etc., things like that. And it had a different feel, a different approach, a different sound to the string. I had one that was just a solid metal color. The guy wasn't sure that I bought it from if it was aluminum or steel, and I've never put a magnet to it to check. Now that I think about it, it's in my case. I could probably check it that way, but it's not a favorite. It's a little thicker than a metal pick would need to be for me, because that metal edge scraping on the strings, it's one of those things. Metal on metal is a tough thing for me to take. So it would have to be a really, you'd have to get into the pick world a bit and look into the beveling of the edges. There's all kind of crazy beveling that people do in some of these. In fact, this pick that I was showing you guys has special bevels at the end that angle one way or the other depending on what you order and what your playing style is, and just all this stuff. So yeah, it's very. And then making a Damascus pick, dude, I'd buy that right away.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be amazing, Bill. If you get some in your hand, call out, brother. I'd definitely grab one from you.
I can't do a pick.
Give it a try.
I just can't. I've tried and tried and tried. Just moves around in my hand too much between my fingers. And I don't know.
There's like people who made a living of finger playing, not just like acoustical picking, but like Mark Knopfler. I mean, that riff from Money for Nothing that you've loved for all these years was him pinching the strings while he's got a wah-wah pedal cocked about halfway up. Is how he got that sound for that song. So fingers are a whole different world.
When Cammy's brother was here, we had a night where we had a couple drinks. And I was feeling good. I was singing loud. We were both singing loud. But I started playing, and I was doing House of the Rising Sun, one of the first songs I ever learned. And it happened. My hand took over. Like I was in it. To where, your hand is like 3-4 inches away from the strings. It's not like tucked in. And I'm just sitting there using my fingertips and just hitting. Just like when you know a guitar, it's an amazing feeling because you can have your hand away from it even and just reach down and hit that string that you want without looking, without anything. And that's how it was. Like my hand just took over and it went back to, because if I'm playing and I'm really thinking about it, or I'm not drunk, I guess, or really, and this is how I used to play when I was sober, but my fingertips will all straighten out. My fingers will all go straight, and I'll just play like, I can play a lot louder that way. It's like I'm using my whole strength of my whole finger instead of just the tips. But I like rub my finger across the string and then pluck it. I don't know. It's weird when you get in that groove when you're playing. It's like you and your guitar are now one. That's what it feels like. You can't mess up. It's all right there, and your hand is just doing this thing. But yeah, I love that feeling, and I don't know if I could do that if I had that pick in my hand. I don't think it would ever be the same. That's just how I learned with my fingers. I don't know. I'm too old to be changing.
And I'm actually the opposite in that I played with a pick my whole life, and now I'm working on trying to get some finger picking down. It's a struggle. It definitely is.
Yeah, they're totally different.
I see Joy in chat asking about, or saying wood picks, which I've had a variety of different wooden picks. They seem to work a little better for me in the acoustic world than on an electric. It really takes a lot of the pop and the punch out of the attack of the pick against the string. So definitely I've had those that I use for my acoustic. And I've also had some made out of bone. I think it was camel bone. it said that I'd gotten from someplace. It was just, again, me trying just about anything. The bone picks are different. They have their own. There's horn picks as well. In fact, most of the early day picks were made out of some type of organic material before the petrol world took over.
Well, according to the clock, we got about 90 seconds before we hit.
Well, I guess we'll shut up talking about picks.
We had a question in chat. Was it Brian Cornell? I forget. Somebody had asked what we had thought about the whole Earth rising that's been rearing its head as of late.
Yeah, I've heard it.
I'm
not.
I've heard that people think this. I'm not even sure I have ever even seen Flat Earth Society say this. I've only heard people say that that's what they say.
Oh no! Okay, well, we don't have time for this. When we get back,
I take
we
your
need
word.
to get into that.
Like I said, I've just never actually seen it. So,
well, the reason I want to get into it is because I actually saw this movie shared not too many months ago, and we need to get into that on the other side of the break because it's a whole thing. I mean, it's a whole thing. It was some of the early day stuff that I got wrapped into for a minute, and then once I thought my way through it and dug a little deeper, and it was like, are you kidding? This is what this is? So yeah, do we have time? No, there's no way. The clock might be off on my end. I should be hearing break music.
Music will appear when it is supposed to.
It's there. We're just talking over it.
Well, then we need to shut up.
And they may have readjusted it. Anyway, stick around. This is the end of the first half of the Ironworks right here, Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. We will be right back.
A young person starting their career should find something that they're passionate about to do. It's very hard. If you don't love your work, you're never going to be great at it. You guys will find that you have passions, and having a passion is a gift. I think we all have passions, and you don't get to choose them. They pick you, but you have to be alert to them. You have to be looking for them. And when you find your passion, it's a fantastic gift for you because it gives you direction, gives you purpose. All your work won't feel like work to you. Many kids, many grown-ups do figure out over time what their passions are. I don't think it's that hard. I think what happens though sometimes is that we let our intellectual selves overrule those passions. You can choose a life of ease and comfort, or you can choose a life of service and adventure. Which one of those, when you're 90 years old, are you going to be more proud of? If you can get your work life to be where you enjoy half of it, that is amazing.
Extendivite is more than just a heart tonic. Do you have any of these symptoms? Night cramps in the hands and feet. Your arms and legs often go to sleep. On short walks, do your legs get aches and pains? Is your memory worse than it used to be? Ankles that swell late in the day? Has your blood pressure increased lately? If you answered yes to even one of these questions, you may have early warning signs of arterial blockages. Your body is saying that it is time to take Extendivite. These are not the normal signs of aging. They are the warning signs that accompany blocked arteries. Get your Extendivite today. Extendivite is available in capsule or liquid form for just $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To get started, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
If there's something you want to achieve, you can achieve any freaking thing you want as long as you know what the goal is. That's why goal posters or goal boards or even just telling someone what your goals are, writing them down is so important, because once you can identify your goal, it makes it so much easier to work towards it. And that's something that I think our children are not being taught in the school system right now, is how to set a proper goal. It's like, hey, what do you want to achieve? Well, the teacher gave me these things I want to achieve. Okay, well, what's that going to do for you? Well, I don't know. The teacher said I had to do it. Okay, that's great, but it doesn't teach them the logical thought process or the creative thinking process to develop a goal and then reverse engineer what they need to do to accomplish that goal. And we need more of that true goal setting in our society. Otherwise, we just have a bunch of sheep who have no idea what they're doing. They're just bumbling around. Don't be a sheep, be a goat. They're more creative and adventurous anyways. Be an ornery goat.
No hate, no hype, no fear. We are TFR, your protection from deception.
Wakey, wakey. There is no scientific model of the earth. There is no scientific model of the earth.
You have stolen my dreams and my childhood.
And welcome back to the second half of the first half of the Ironworx.
How dare you?
How dare you?
Okay, so before the break, we mentioned the upward rising Earth and that, whatever, and blah, blah, blah. And then Josh mentioned that he had never actually seen the fact of the Flat Earth Society themselves saying that. And okay, so for me, early on, this adventure began with three things: the moon helping me find Crow's lunar waves videos, which resulted in Flat Earth videos in my feed. The first one of which I clicked on was from a channel called it's gone. It was in my head before the commercial break, and now it's gone. Oh, man. Something with an X. Anyway, but it wasn't Mark Sargent. But it turns out it was the Mark Sargent clue. Someone else had reposted on their channel. I didn't know till years later they had taken out a couple of the episodes, a couple of the numbers of the clues, whatever. But that was the second thing I saw. And the third thing I saw was this video. And it was a documentary. And it was about Flat Earth. And it was about how these people, had questions. And so it would talk to these people who had these questions or who were explaining these things to you. And one of them was a guy talking about the satellites and how the moon and the sun go over here. And there's like a warp portal thing that warps them under the flat Earth over to the other side and they come around again. And I'm like, what insanity is this? Which luckily didn't send me running back to the ball. And then as the show progresses, we get another guy, and he's talking about gravity. And he is talking about how the Earth rises at this certain rate of whatever times, whatever mathematically correct equation to equalize for the gravity to work. And as this is going on, something inside me is screaming, this isn't real. These people are actors. They are playing parts. Nobody is legitimate or genuine in this whole thing. It is actors. These are actors. This feels like one of those long pieces, like maybe Christopher Guest would put out, where everybody's being 100% authentic and true and real, and it is the most insane, ridiculous, hilarious shit you've ever seen because they're so locked into their bullshit or whatever. And it read like that to me, like a Christopher Guest mockumentary. And I couldn't. So when it was over and at the end of it, it talked about this girl on a snowmobile and how she headed for the dome and they found her snowmobile with a note on it years later and all this bullshit. And after it was over, my head was just broken. I'm like, okay, this is all crap. I got to find out about this. So I went digging and digging and digging. And that's when you could find stuff back on the internet, like in 2014 and 15. And so I found that this movie was put together by the Flat Earth Society. And it came out in like the late to mid 80s, and it was definitely a mockumentary feeling thing. And it to me sealed the fact that the Flat Earth Society was definitely a group who was out there to make Flat Earth look ridiculous, to go on Johnny Carson with the rock they caught falling off the edge of the earth, to talk about flicking uprising Earth and portals freaking, under a disc in space and all this ridiculous shit that most people see and go, oh yeah, these people are nuts, and walk back on the ball. So luckily I didn't, and I realized, well, this is put out there for this. So if this is out there to hide this crap, something's got to be here for this big production to have been put together by these people to lead people down the wrong path. There has to be something here. So I took it the other way and went with the fact that they're there to put this out to distract me, and went digging and found the actors. And, it was definitely a made thing. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Journey to the Edge, maybe, or I'll go find all that in a minute. Because I saw someone on one of the, maybe Twitter, when I went through Twitter recently, which I've been going back to Twitter just to post the show. And then when I'm there, I start reading things and commenting on them. And so, yeah, I'm back a little bit over there. And that's where I saw someone share it. And I'm like, no. And I started explaining to them, what the movie was. And anyway, so that was when I found out about the fact that there is definitely a group who call themselves the Flat Earth Society who are putting out idiocy to make people think it is idiocy. And that was early, way early. SpaceX? No, not SpaceX. Static yet?
I remember reading or watching that same documentary, Walter, with the lady who took the snowmobile, and she was never found again, but they found her snowmobile, and she said she'd been to the edge and she was on her way back, but blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I remember all that stuff. Remember Belu?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was people from South America that had the crater Earth theory. And it was like a floating
half-baked
meteor.
potato, twice baked potato.
Yeah.
Or a half an avocado is what it looked like also.
And they went through the whole documentary, and it wasn't horrible. They had some military guys there that said that they're this and that was blah, blah. It was interesting, at least. And then at the very end, they say, oh, yeah, we got all this information from this alien Belu.
Oh, no, yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that's it.
Remember that our buddy Noor made the video with his little alien friend shouting out all the Flat Earth channels? What was he called? It was something like Belu. It was a joke on the name. Damn it, what was it? B-Louie? B-Louie. I think that was the name of it. Or something like that.
He was like a rapper.
Something.
He was the alien rapper.
He was the rap alien. Rap.
Yeah, B-Louie, the alien rapper.
Yeah, he was shouting out all the Flat Earth channels. Actually, 17 Joy, that's exactly who I'm talking about. That Andrea Barnes, that is the story that is this bullshit. That's not real. That didn't happen. That is all part of this whole heading to the edge. And yeah, that's the person I'm speaking about.
Sanity. Yeah, and I mean, we've been through a few of these now. Yeah, Dell kind of shocks me. It really does, because Dell has always been very critically thinking and logical. And this just doesn't make sense. It doesn't. But, I mean, this happens, and you can't put your finger on something and nail it down. You start having other ideas on how it's possible, and I don't know. Yeah. I see when he takes the water bottle and he's laying it on its side and moving it along, and it goes to like a slant, right? The water in the bottle is now like a 45-degree angle is cut, and the water is all in one corner of the bottle. Well, that's because there's two vectors now. Not just one vector. You have two vectors. You have one pushing down and one pushing back. So your water level is at an angle now. When he stops, the water will flatten out, and it will all be at the bottom of the bottle for a reason. Now, when he drops the bottle straight down, yes, the water is denser than the air inside. It is pulling, it's denser than the plastic holding it. So it's going to pull everything down. The water will always be on the bottom. Now, if you used a lead container and you had water in it and you dropped it from a high enough height, yes, the water would go to the top because the lead would be, being pulled or pushed down faster than the water itself because it's denser. I don't know. I don't know how to make it any simpler than that.
Well,
oh, go ahead.
so
Go ahead.
I was just thinking, don't things have a different rate of? Sorry, I got a little antsy. Started talking before I'd exhaled. When they fall, don't they fall at different rates?
Yeah, but a lot of this, it takes time to see this. It's going to fall at a different rate, but is that rate visually, apparent
If the
to the human eye?
if the Earth is rising, why would they?
It would all fall at the same time, you would think, right?
Right. Smack the bottom
Yeah.
of a table, and then smack the bottom of anything else. Smack the bottom of 14 different things. If you do it with the same force every time, it's going to be the same force every time.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. I think once you involve liquid water, it turns into a whole different thing as well. I think that alters stuff. We know how it changes what electricity can and can't do. Why wouldn't it alter whatever other things are at play here? I don't know. This is not a very scientific thought process I'm going through here, but it just seems like when you introduce that water into the situation, it's different. It's just like that old video I kept getting shown early on, or not early on, I guess it's been about 4 years ago now, the guy with the balloon tied to a string inside the SUV and going forward, going backwards, and blah, blah, blah. And that's supposed to prove something about the Earth. I'm like, you have a fucking balloon filled with helium. You've removed it from normal anything now. You can't really use that to me at that point. You've removed it from the normal frame of reference. In fact, I see someone in chat, it went by talking about the frame of reference of the Earth. That's why you can't stick a marble to a boulder on the beach because the Earth is here. Well, same idea to me. You can't separate these things from their field of reality that they're in to test them right. I don't know. I just don't think we're moving up. I mean, hate to bring him up again, but Eric DeBay put out a video like days after all that I happened to see go by. I went, really? DeBay's putting out videos still? So I watched it to see, and that was my first real, like, wow, this is a big enough thing for Eric to put a video out about it? Really? I just thought it was Dale going on this channel. I didn't know it had blown up so big that it needed a video from Eric. So I watched it, and pretty much everything he said was exactly what I was thinking. Like, okay, to make that work, you know what else you have to have in place for that to be a thing? And that's all the shit he talked about. This infinite void above us, this energy, this pushing, this whole thing. It's fucking ridiculous. It's flat earth bullshit. That's what it is to me. And that's, I guess I'm stuck and I won't be convinced any other way.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, is electrostatics the only way it could possibly happen? No.
And Lucas.
I'm sure there's other things out there that could be going on. Does electrostatics make this happen on a small scale that we can recreate? Yes.
Right.
So I don't get it. I don't get it. The whole, electrostatics don't affect gases. I've heard him say it a couple times now. Stop. Please, go do some research.
Mm-hmm.
Ideal gases are not real. If you type into Google, are ideal gases real? The answer will tell you no. They're imaginary. It's a mathematical formula to make the math possible. That's it. The space that you put this imaginary gas, this ideal space, is not real. It does not exist here where we dwell. It just doesn't. There is no square inch in this realm that doesn't have an electric field, pressure of some sort, and heat. And all these three things are removed from your ideal space. They're just not there. You're pretty much talking about space in the heliocentric model. So no, the ideal gas laws do not disprove natural law. So
I saw a little
anybody going
interesting
out
video
saying
yesterday.
that, stop playing chess with pigeons. Just stop.
On this very topic, something's going through my head. I saw a video yesterday, and interestingly enough, it flashed me back, and I remembered that this channel is actually the other channel I remember having done. Oops, hang on, sorry. Having done some work, some research, whatever you want to call it, on the moon map. And that is the channel whose name I cannot pronounce without reading it. And I'm trying to go back into it. Is the channel God Geb Lumstay. When you see it, you'll remember it. And it is one of those channels that was getting into the whole crater Earth idea way back. It may be even the channel that did the distance to the airports. I don't know. I'm not saying that is who it did. I'm just trying to remember why. As soon as I saw the name, I was like, oh yeah, crater Earth. So I watched it. And the thing this video is discussing is pretty intriguing. And I can't explain it yet because I need to watch it a couple of more times. But it's going into this whole idea of this shift that happens with the moon. And I don't know. It's pretty intriguing. I'll just share it with you guys. I don't want to keep talking about it and not say the right thing and, maybe give you a bad start here. But as I saw this video go by, it reminded me that I had found a picture a couple of days ago I intended on sharing with everybody, and I never did send it over to Telegram so that I could show you. So I'm doing that as I'm talking in case you can't hear the distracted way I'm talking to you. So early on, we all heard about a gentleman named Parallax who put out a book called Zetetic Astronomy. And we all started living a zetetic life at that point, we thought. And on his book, if you go back and look at some of his early printings, he has a very interesting little image here. Let me see what you guys think of this. So there's one of the covers that was on one of the issues, one of the editions that came out. I don't remember the date, but I just find that quite intriguing in that it looks very similar to what we're being shown in some of these moon map, crater Earth maps, whatever. The fact that the Earth's way over to the side and there's this whole bunch of unknown land out beyond the area there. And yeah, I don't know. It's, to me, that the fact that he used this picture rather than the typical AE map, just interesting, very interesting. Don't know what it means, just find it interesting. All right, let me link that video to you guys in chat before I forget to do that as well. So you guys watch this one a couple times, and then maybe on next Friday, we'll talk about it a bit because it's an idea that I think has some merit if I could get my head wrapped around it. It would explain a lot of things.
Go ahead, Walter.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've noticed that when I go back and look at a lot of these old books, if you don't get like an original, you're not going to get the cover, the original cover of the book. Is there anything like that? But
I think you're breaking up a little bit, Zach.
Yeah, I think you're breaking up, Zach. I heard part of something about the original version, and then you went away. And you're apparently not there now. Wow.
Weird.
Just talking about the electromagnetic spectrum is all it takes now. He doesn't have to pull out a device anymore. What did I just see go by? Oh, this is a left turn, and we'll take it in a minute. Hang on one second. I want to get Zach back on the book thing, if he ever gets back in here.
I expect you.
Oh, it is hard to find original versions of books. I don't know what happened. We lost him.
He bounced. He probably had to go reset or something, or crashed.
Yeah,
maybe that was it. Maybe the internet went out.
That might be what happened. Regina, this is that left turn in chat. Regina Gibley saying apparently the cathedral in my town has a copper roof. Everybody's cathedral, I think, has that. I didn't know that the town here that I grew up in as a kid and later moved back to as an adult and took Zack to it after having seen some interesting things about it that just made me understand that there might be more going on to some of this free energy at the church idea, because the parsonage behind it is the only building in my town that has the lightning rods with the mercury inside the glass globes attached to them. Attached to this church, it has all these weird wires leading up to the steeple. And when he got his camera out and zoomed in on it, is when I realized that my church has a metal roof, and I didn't know that. And then in a small town close to me called Abbeville, I've shown you guys some pictures way back and video I took of the church there with the most enormous copper-looking roof on it, which sits across the street from the local power plant, which is attached to that power plant with huge cables, way more than is required for inputting energy. But if you were downloading energy, you might need a cable that big. Anyway, so yeah, churches, there's a lot of secrets there that we're not privy to, I would think.
Check.
There
Hi,
he
he's
is.
back.
Go ahead, Josh. Sorry.
We were wanting to hear about the book situation. You were talking about books and getting original copies.
Oh, yeah, just how you'll never get a lot of them. The front of a book can tell a story in itself. And like the Edward Leedscallion, not anything special, just says the Freemasonic Book of Magnetism, but then it has those two symbols on the original. They're just the same symbol mirrored pretty much. It looks like one of them looks like an S with extra curls at the end, and the other one is just the mirror image of that. And we see this everywhere. It's in the railings all over the place. It's in the architectural design of, the aesthetics they'll put in little curly cues in the corners and stuff. And they remove that from any other of the copies besides the first edition. And that's just one of those little things that's why I love looking at book covers, the first edition book covers. Because usually the author will put something on there that has meaning to what they're talking about. And did they do that on accident? Do they think, oh, not as many copies sold, let's change it to this and hopefully sell more copies? Or are they occulting the knowledge? So when you see that book and those symbols, you look at it and like, oh, I've seen those symbols all over the place. What does this mean? I don't know. Just, it's weird how they change the covers of books so much from one edition to another. And okay, we got a couple minutes before the break. This has been really weird. We were just talking electrostatics and my phone went wonky.
Huh?
Well, we've been getting a lot of strikes or copyright claims on the Glowbusters channel. Old videos and stuff. We've been going through and we're finding out that it's not even the people who own the video. There is somebody pretending to be these people.
It's a bot. That's a real
Yeah,
common practice for the bots to go through. And as long as they make the claim first, then it's up to you to counteract it, to post the counterclaim and see what happens. And if they get denied, they get denied. But I mean, it's a numbers game. If you do it to 4,000 channels and maybe 5% of them might make the effort to challenge it.
It's weird though, because every time we're finding that, because it'll tell you exactly where in the video, it's between this minute and this minute, or this second actually, and this second, where the copyright claim is taking place.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always when Bob and I are talking about electrostatics. Always. It hit Cammie yesterday. I didn't even catch on her. She's like, this one is you and Bob talking about electrostatics again. And she went to another one. Look at this one. This is about you and Bob talking about electrostatics. And there was like 5 of them in a row. And none of the people who actually own the videos put out a claim. Like you said, it's some bot or something doing this. And yeah, it blew me away. It's like, it's never when we're talking about anything else.
So if you were trying to push a specific version of a story, that's the best way to keep other versions from getting put out there, I suppose. Just try to...
Well, yeah, because we can leave the videos up and we can just cut out that part where we're talking about electrostatics.
Uh-huh.
And there is no, because it's always just background video. It's never like we're playing a video. I mean, Walter Lewin has struck me so many times, but they just released like all of them. And there's a couple other people, and I never use their audio in any of the stuff for any of these people. I'm talking over all of it the whole time. And it's never longer than 30 seconds. It's weird. It's really weird. This is the only topic this gets done on, for me at least.
Well, that's going to bring us real close to the freaking break here, ladies and gentlemen. We are on it. Just got me thinking about reality. And for some reason, this song popped into my head. I don't quite know why.
Well, we're moving on up to the east side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky.
But wait for it.
To the east side, we finally got a piece of the pie. Fish don't fry in the kitchen, a bean don't burn on the grill. Took a whole lot of trying just to get up that hill. Now we're up in the big leagues.
This is iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio makes you want to move. When you have a great melody, song
Ever. Instantly connected.
I love it when the beat goes.
Did you know you can listen to Truth Frequency Radio on iHeartRadio? Just download the app to your smart car, smartphone, or smart TV and get the best of TFR wherever you are.
iHeartRadio.
I'll see you there.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
We can't allow bad things to happen to our country, and bad things are happening to us, perhaps like never before. You'll be seeing what goes on, and perhaps like never before.
We are looked upon as not very smart. We are looked upon as not very smart.
Shit, we failed. Shit, we failed. They may allow me back. So I walked gingerly. That ramp was long and steep. I said, General, I might have to grab you by the pussy. They made that a big story, but they didn't make a diving fall. The triple fall, call the triple fall. I wasn't gonna fall. Dr. Fauci, who I actually got along with, he's a great promoter. Not a great doctor, but he's a hell of a promoter. Fauci said powerfully at the beginning, no masks. Then he went into masks, and then he became a radical masker. Look at the world. Look at what happened to the world. And look at the world. It's not just us. It's the world.
We are looked upon as not very smart. We are looked upon as not very smart.
Shit, we failed. Shit, we failed. They may allow me back. Zuckerberg,
Walk into the office and try to film those people. Congratulations, everyone. You're number one on Facebook. The day I was out, he became rather, well, I guess it's human nature. To let our country be run by that kind of human nature. They may edit that out. They don't want to have that. They don't like that. They may have to edit that out. The Biden administration seems to be putting America last. There's nobody like us. Nobody has the people that we have. Nobody has the genius that we have. Look at the world. Look at what happened to the world. And look at the world. It's not just us. It's the world. We are looked upon as not very smart. We are looked upon as not very smart. Shit. We fail. Shit. We fail. They may allow me back. They may allow me back. You are now tuning into the truth frequency.
Your protection from deception. This is Truth Frequency Radio.
Yeah. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Okay, dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there.
There was one?
There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
This is Iron Mike Tyson, and you're listening to Ironworx Media.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cozy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Ironworx Media is the best on the plane. To the show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the Ironworx with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
Wake up.
Well, pitter patter, let's get at her.
And welcome back to the first half of the second half of the Ironworx right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. You can also find us on our YouTube channel, on our Rockfin channel, on our D-Live channel, on our Twitter page, Facebook page. We're around. I'm questioning Twitter now. I'm not quite sure if I'm still going out to Twitter or not. I think so. I think as I set it up, I think I am.
I'm not sure.
think I can. So this is crazy, dude. Not so much the story. There's just one part of this story. There was a singer in South Carolina. He was arrested because they smelled some pot. He was in his tour bus, right? They were partying. He was possession of a Schedule 1 controlled substance and manufacturing or possessing a Schedule 1, 2, and 2 controlled blah, 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 blah. Okay, and he's saying, I don't manufacture drugs, I don't sell drugs, I do drugs. And that'll all come out. So that's like the crux of the story, blah, blah, blah. But this one, okay. So they found a bag containing a white powdery substance in a small tube, 5 pills identified as Xanax and diazepam, clear plastic bag of white powdery substance on table as glass pipe, same table as a glass pipe, THC gummies. What is, and then 4 bags of GPM. What is GPM? It says it tested positive for marijuana, but I've never heard it called GPM. Nothing? Yeah, I don't know. Okay, but here's the crazy part. So he took possession of the marijuana and the pills. But the report says that no one was charged in regards to the heroin and cocaine since it was in an open area and nobody claimed it. Has that ever worked for you guys? Like you're at a party, there's a bunch of
I
people
don't do
there.
drugs.
Drugs do me. What's up, Lucas?
Lucas!
Hi, guys. How you
What's
going?
going on, man?
Oh, not
But yeah,
much.
I've never heard of that. It just everybody says, "Oh, it's not mine," so nobody gets charged. No big deal. It's only the thing in there that's like, I'm not even gonna say should be illegal. I mean, I don't think any substance should be illegal for an adult. If you want to do it, you're an adult. You're gonna get it irregardless. So, but the cocaine and heroin, the one that you die, overdose a lot easier than cannabis. They had to take possession of the cannabis, but the cocaine and heroin, nobody claimed it, and nobody's getting charged. I've never heard of anything so insane. They always find a way to charge somebody. Who rented the van or the bus? Somebody is always responsible for what's inside of, this vehicle.
It might have been like one of those cases where it was, the governor's daughter or son.
Yeah, somebody was partying with them that they got real lucky that person was there in the room.
Yeah, the untouchables.
Yeah,
I'm a private citizen.
Yeah, that just blew my mind. That and the cocaine and heroin, nobody claimed it, so nobody got charged. What? I've never heard of such a thing.
Now,
so what?
So proximity, I've always heard being a thing. Like, if a cop pulls you over and there's a big bag of weed in the center console and there's you and your passenger, there's sort of this whole thing as to they got to figure out whose it is, or they can just charge you both because you're both within the proximity of it. Because it could be reasonably assumed that either one of you could have had possession of it. It could be either of yours. Then you both get charged, and one of you will take the guilty, and one of you will then not. But you'll both get charged, and we'll figure out we'll let the courts decide. So I can see preemptively. It's just that seems odd. That
nobody. Nobody. This doesn't belong to any of you. Oh, it must have just fell off from the sky through the little. I don't know, but yeah, nobody's charged. Yeah, I've never heard of that. I figured charge everybody until someone cracks. Like you were saying. That's what I've always heard.
So was this done on site, or was this like after the fact in the courtroom? As an attorney,
it hasn't gone to court yet. It hasn't gone to court. This just happened the 17th, I think, or 18th of this month.
So maybe the prosecutors.
He went to Instagram and told his part of the story and said, I'm not a dealer or a manufacturer. He was pissed because they put in dealing and manufacturing in the charges.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he went to Instagram and blew this all up and made a big harumph about it, because he doesn't want to be thought of as a drug dealer and a manufacturer and all that kind of stuff. It's like, I don't do that. I take drugs. I don't make them and sell them to people. And I get that. But the whole idea that, we found some coke and heroin in here and nobody's claiming it. So yeah, no charge. They always find a way, they always find a way.
But did somebody get arrested for it?
Yeah, he did.
Okay,
Not
that makes
not
sense.
for the cocaine and heroin. He got arrested for the marijuana and the pills. But yeah, they're saying nobody was charged at all for the cocaine and the heroin.
Look, a cop can arrest you for anything. If he sees you jaywalking can be an arrestable offense, should the police officer decide that to be the case. If they've got him on one thing at all, they don't really give a shit. They'll just, they can pile on the charges through the DA after the fact.
Yeah, they only need you for one.
Yeah, as long as you're taking the ride, they don't give a shit what the charging paperwork is for that gets you in the back of that car that's going to get you behind the bars that night. Whatever gets them that arrest. They'll let the DA figure out how to charge them or overcharge them or undercharge them, whatever they think is going to stick with the judge, just to make sure they can continue a prosecution. Which is why it seems strange that they would overcharge him with this manufacturing and distribution, which does seem like an overcharge if you're just going to put on a show and say, well, we're going to take him to court with charges that'll never stick.
Yeah.
And I can see how it being a pretty easy attorney's argument to say that party bus is as good as a public space. People are coming and going, no idea who's coming in and out of that bus. And the fact that something was found on the bus, that how can you pin that to any one particular person when there's been hundreds of people doing all sorts of illicit things on there? Right? We can't be responsible.
Well, I mean, you could
for
say
everybody.
that it's the same as a house, though. Just because you have people coming and going in your house, if someone leaves cocaine in your house and you're in possession of it and it's your house, well, someone's going to get in trouble for it. If you don't tell them who left it there, then that's in your house. That's your cocaine right now. So I'm saying they always find a possession of everything. They'll pin possession of it on somebody in some way. The driver, whoever rented the vehicle, maybe. That's what I was saying. This just blows my mind that they were just like,
I think the DA thinks they've got a friendly judge and they were going to just be able to push this one through, probably settle before they go to court, because this rapper is going to have at least some money to settle with. And they'll get the fines, they'll get the whatever, and they'll still get the big payday. And we'll just overcharge them. And they thought the judge would probably just push it through, and they'd be able to keep it all on the hush hush. But it kind of blew up in their face. That's what it sounds like to me. Like they were overcharging on purpose and hoping that they would get a bigger fines and settlement on the backside. But this is from my very ignorant and limited knowledge.
Yeah, I've only done the whole juror thing one time, and they threw like 5 or 6 charges at the guy, but they only really wanted the one. And I think that's how they do it. They throw on as many charges as they can possibly think of that are even relatively close, knowing that, 4 out of the 5 are going to be struck down just on common sense by the jury. But what they really want you to do is, we'll throw 5 at you, but we really just want this one. And in most people's mind, it's like, we'll let them go on these 4, but yeah, I guess we'll give them that one. Got to have it win in. Yeah, I think it's just a ploy to, like you were saying, you overcharge with a bunch of stuff. This will all get thrown out, but it's almost like in the jury's mind that, okay, we let them go on all these other ones.
I think I lost my internet. Perhaps I'm not being able to pull up websites. So if I go out sometime, that's going to be why.
We're still hearing you. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, guys, if we go away, it's Josh's fault.
I'll be right back, I promise. But for some reason, I'm not being able to pull up.
If you go away, we all go away, right?
Right. Well, I mean, the call will still be going on because you guys will be there. But we will not be broadcasting out. It'll take me just a second to get things back up and going. But I also might be completely wrong. It just seems strange. I was trying to open
Still hearing you.
And they were all fucking, sorry, no internet. Sorry, no internet. Sorry, no internet. Oh, shit.
Wild.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Weird, wild stuff.
Getting ready to pull the plug. I better get you fucking duckies in a row.
So that one opened. All right, maybe not. Maybe we'll be all right. Maybe I just clicking into websites maybe I wasn't allowed to. I don't know.
You know what I'd like to see done? Sorry for changing the subject back to juries. I see people talking about juries in the chat. When I went to go do jury duty, I didn't have to, but they gave me this piece of paper to sign.
There's your first red flag right there.
Yeah, and it's giving up your right as a juror to decide the punishment for the defendant. So as a jury, in this country at least, we have the right to decide how and what that punishment should be for the defendant. And we waive that right and give it to the judge by signing that piece of paper. So if you're picked for jury duty, if you get that little piece of paper in the mail, go. Don't just throw it away like most people do. Go in there. See how this process works. But when they hand you that piece of paper, say, nope, I'm not signing that. And I wonder if you're the only juror who does not sign it, if you alone get to make that decision. Because, I mean, these rules are pretty set in stone. And they kind of don't inform you. They just hand you a piece of paper and say, oh, we need you to sign this. When you read it over, it's worded in a way to where like, yeah, the judge probably knows better than me, blah, 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 blah. But what you're doing is giving away your right to decide the punishment. And I think that, so much could be changed if we were just informed on the actual power we have as a man or woman living in this country. And how often, this happens daily. Probably millions of people in courts across this country give this right up daily, every single day, without even thinking about it or knowing the ramifications of signing that little piece of paper. And they can't make you sign it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that would fly? Do you think if you didn't sign it that you'd actually get?
I don't know. I don't remember that part in my one time ago into jury duty. I may have done it, I just wasn't aware that that was part of what I was signing into. But I definitely was the one holding shit up because everybody else was just ready to railroad the whole situation because that's what the cops wanted. And I'm like, did you hear the testimony that the guy gave or that the police officer, did y'all listen to anything they said? Didn't any of that sound suspect to you? And it was all bullshit to set up on this guy. And anybody that's ever been in a situation knew that. But all these people were, people who had never been in a situation. So they didn't know that. And I instantly knew that was what had happened. The cops set this dude up and it was like, y'all really gonna just let this go? So I kept them in there for hours, pissing people off, refusing to, make it a full whatever. Then they started threatening with making everybody stay over the night, and then they all started getting pissed at me, and I was done. Oh, idiots, whatever. Enjoy your lives. And I kept my vote the way it was. I never changed it.
So this is one of those weird things. It's been a hot minute since I've been arrested. Like decades. But I think so there's like the First Amendment auditors that will refuse to identify, right? We're protecting our Fourth Amendment as well. And there's police officers that will just simply tell you that we'll detain you until we identify you. We'll just take you down to the station and we'll fingerprint you. And then when they do that, they're going to take you in there. And these days it's all sort of done on glass plates and digital imagery, but it's not like the ink pads where they're taking and then rolling your finger over the paper, which I've done multiple times. But I've also done the new digital scans too, where they're basically just putting your hand on a copy machine and scanning it into the computer. And then they just run your prints through APHIS and all the different databases and get your background. And they come back and again, they're going to want you to sign a piece of paper After they take your fingerprints, you're required to sign the piece of paper stating, yep, those are my fingerprints. And I don't know that I would do that. Let's say I've got a gold pen in my pocket, but they don't want to search me and seize me. They want to take me down to the station and book me just to get to that gold pen. And they do. They take me down to the station and they book me and they take my gold pen.